Hey guys, drdecks here. Today we are going to install a couple of InLite lights. These are called the Halo, and they're an up-down light where they're going to shine light up and shine light down. We installed this feature wall about a month ago in our home, and we thought it would be kind of cool to add an accent light. So maybe if we don't have so much of our overhead lights on and we want to accent the wall more, so if we're having gathering or people over, it just looks really pretty, gives it a nice sheen on the wall. It kind of shows a little bit of a different effect. We're also going to install a couple different louver options to see which ones we like. It will show a beam of light instead of the whole thing open. We'll kind of show you what it looks like unfiltered, and then with the louver on there, and have a little bit of louvered light or completely closed or mostly closed. I'm not sure yet until we actually get this thing on the wall and kind of decide what we like. These lights are easy to install. It's their same installation procedure where it's a plug and play where you have an end like this, you plug it into a cable that is connected to a low voltage line. And then we're gonna install a smart transformer as well, so I can operate the lights from my smartphone if I just wanna turn them on, off, or have a time of day that I want them to turn on. So we're gonna start by mounting the plate and get started on that. I already know that I have a line hanging down from the ceiling at 25 inches. When we installed the wall, I put in a low voltage line already. So I just need to mark out where I want my mounting plate, which is connected to the back of this light, and it's gonna come apart like so. I can use this as a guide to figure out where I want to put the hole for the wire, for the fitting to go through the wall, and then I can mount it to the wall, and then we'll go from there. We'll get the hole, figure out where we want to drill the hole for our adapter. We'll fish out the wire, we'll hook up the adapter, we'll put it in the wall, then we'll mount the plate, and then we'll hook up the light, and then we'll hang the light on the adapter plate, and then we'll start dialing in the actual settings on the light. We'll get the transformer installed and we'll go from there. Okay, but first thing is, figure out where these wall plates go. So let's go figure that out. We have this Banksy on our wall, which we really like. And so we're gonna keep that right there. So we want, and this Banksy is equally spaced from the corner to this edge and this corner to this edge, probably within a half an inch or so. This wall is fluted or ribbed, so there's some ins and outs, and depending on where you put your screws, you might want to grab more meat in the outside rib instead of the inside flute, where it may be more not as strong or weaker or whatever. So that's what I'm going to try to do here as well. I'm going to try to line these two holes up maybe into a more solid part of the wall instead of into the gap. But I know my wire, like I said before, is about 25 inches down, so I want to drill my hole right above that. And so I'm just going to take a few measurements to figure out where that is. I've got about 58 inches from the edge of the wall to the edge of this painting, and I'm 58 and a half over here. Okay, so we're just going to go with 58 inches. I'll just center each side individually, but I don't think anybody's going to pick up on a 1/4 inch. So half of 58 is 29. That would be the center of our bracket. Our bracket's 2 1/4 inches, a little less than 28 inches. So the edge of this rib's at 28 and a half. So if I went 28 and a half there, I'm about 28 there. So let's start at 28. So right there, and I know that that hole has to be down 25 inches. I burned that into my brain, and I gotta be above that. So I'm gonna put my hole at 24. It's a 2-inch hole that I'm gonna drill. So I'm gonna put my hole at 24. Better do 23 and a half just to be safe. I don't wanna cut the cable with my hole saw and damage it, right? That would not be smart. And now I'm gonna lay this out a little bit this way because I wanna hit these flutes, these outside ribs, with my screws. It'll make it a little bit easier. There's my hole for drilling. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a mark where I wanna drill a hole. And then I'm gonna mark the top of my bracket. So there's where my hole needs to be over here. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the other side, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna mark where I want my hole. So there's 28, and I like that spacing. Okay, so I have the side to side spacing I want. Now I gotta be 23 and a half. So there's where my hole needs to go, and there's the top of my bracket. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and drill a 2-inch hole through each side of where I need to go in so I can fish out the wire. My bracket is 2 1/4. So this bracket will cover up a 2-inch hole, and it's gonna be above my screw holes. So I'll have something solid to attach to as well. So let's go ahead and get those drilled. I'm gonna grab a vacuum real quick and try to suck up some of the sawdust as I drill the hole. New tool alert, new tool alert. It's just a Dyson. All right, so here we go. Let's cut the hole. Okay guys, the suspense is killing me. So I gotta make sure, and there's the wire. So, ha 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 ha. All right, let's go cut the other hole. The hole's drilled. We know where our lights are gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and fish this back through here. And the first thing we gotta do is find the wire in the wall. And then we need to put that in and then get this up against the wall and install it. And then we can finish installing the light. Okay, what I was talking about earlier, here's the connector. This connector connects to the wire that's in the wall and it snaps on. So there's a little adapter piece that, because we are using a 12 gauge wire, this also is used for 10 gauge. But since we're using 12 gauge, we have to use this adapter, and this adapter has little grooves in it, okay? And those grooves fit into the grooves inside of the receptacle of this adapter. Once that's all together, then you take this cap and you screw it on, and then it snaps on. When it creates the pressure and snaps on, inside of this little plate, inside of here, there's some dielectric grease. If you're using these fixtures outside, the dielectric grease helps keep the connection from corroding or decomposing in the future. And then once that's connected to the line, then you just plug this in like so, and you're connected. So let's find that wire. Let's get this connected. We'll get our mount done on the wall, and then we'll get this one installed. We'll get the other one installed, and then we'll go to the transformer. So again, the suspense is killing me. Ooh, I hear it. I might need a screwdriver or something to get this out of the wall. And the other thing I was concerned about was this plug fitting in here, because I only have 3/4 of an inch of play behind the wall on our sleeper system that we used. And then I have 3/4 of an inch of IOS. This wood's called IOS, by the way. It's thermally modified by a company called Thermowood. But if that's why I chose to drill a 2-inch hole here, was so that this fitting will fit in here and I could still squeeze some wire through here as well. So just some pre-planning on my behalf to make sure that I got that right. Okay. I got a mini screwdriver here. So in the future, I probably would have put a little bit of string on this wire and then just stapled it to the sheetrock. And then I could have just pulled on that, and that would have been smart. Hindsight, guys. Now we're in business. Got it. Okay, like I was saying before, we got that. Then we put that like that. And then sometimes this snaps when you turn it tight. There you go. You hear the snap? Now it's nice and snug. All right, so that's going to go like this. And kind of tuck in the wall like that. And then we have this section that's going to plug in like this. And now's a good time to probably check that connection before you start covering it up. But I don't have my transformer hooked up yet, so it looks like, man, this is going to be a little tight on space. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to shove this in the wall so we're closer to being legit. I don't like that, so I'm going to turn this. So you might consider cutting a little bit bigger hole, but if you do, be sure that you're not going to cut it too big to where it won't fit. The other option I could do would be to cut the sheetrock, but I don't think I'm going to do that. And then this gets mounted like so. Okay, and then I just got to make sure I have enough room to shove this wire in the wall. But I see a pathway I can, okay, there we go. Now the wire can be brought in like so. There is a little bit of room to tuck some of the wire and behind the fixture as well. So I think between the two will be okay. And then there's just 2 screws that you need to use. Okay, we'll go ahead and mount this one first. I don't want to completely tighten that until I have the other screw where I need it. Okay, I don't like the height of that because it shows a little bit of the hole. I didn't see that from down here, so I think I'm going to raise this up. And then there's a set screw, and they include an Allen key for that. All right, it's pretty sturdy. All right, let's go to our next one. There we go. All right, so we have the lights installed, the wires installed. Now all I have to do is hook up the transformer. So let's go over that, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Oh, and then we need to go over the filters too, or the louvers to cast a different type of light onto the wall. So transformers next, let's do that. The next step, I just had a spool of low voltage wire that's been sitting here since we did the wall, knowing that I was gonna hook up a transformer. So there's a couple different options that you can use for transformers. InLite always recommends that you use their transformer when you're installing their lights, understandably. So this is what it looks like. It's very clean, it's outdoor rated. And there's 3 different places you can connect. It's a 150 watt transformer. So there's 50 watts per pole that you can use. And you can also set this up for 3 different zones. So this is a little bit of overkill for this particular install, but I wanted to be able to have it smartphone compatible so that I don't have to have these lights on all the time, like on a switch. I can just turn them on and off as I see fit. So I'm just going to use the first connector spot. And all you have to do is lift up these 2 little levers, put your wire in here, and then they just clamp down like that, and you're done. Then there's a little beauty cap that goes over the top of it like that. And I'm probably just going to mount this to the wall right here, and then just plug it right into this receptacle that's sitting right here as well. So that's what we're going to do next. So what I have to do is just unspool a certain amount of wire that I need for this particular install. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to conceal this later or whatever, but just for the sake of this video, I'm just going to make it a certain length that I think I need. And I didn't bring my wire strippers or anything else like that. I just have a knife. Okay, so that's done. And now I'm just going to strip enough wire off the ends of each of these. This is low voltage, so just about anybody can install this. But if you're not comfortable or you don't know how to do this, that's okay. You can always have an electrician come in and do the hookup for you. But low voltage is pretty easy. You're not going to get electrocuted if you do this wrong. You just want to make sure you don't cross your wires over when you're installing. But here's the 2 wires. Here's the transformer. Here's the pole I want to use to hook it up. I always twist my wires clockwise and strip about a 1/2 inch off, and then they go in right like that. And then to lock these down, I just push down on those 2 clips and they're in. At this moment in time, this is the only pole I'm going to use. But if I wanted to run some other lights in the future, I easily can by just hooking up another set of wires to the next line. So I'm just going to set this transformer over here for a second. I'm not going to mount it to the wall at this moment. I'm just going to go ahead and plug it in. I want to make sure my lights work. So that's what we're going to do now. There's a button right here on the side of the transformer. So I can manually turn this on by pushing that button. Okay, so now this is on. And guess what? We have light. All right, now that our lights are installed, and I kind of like the way they look, but they also have these shutters. It seems like shutter 1 is the one that fits the light a little bit better. So we're gonna go ahead and put a couple shutter 1s onto this light and just see how it casts a little bit differently than the other side. I'll stick that up in there like that. And then you can kind of change the pitch of the light by just installing these guys. If you want more of a V look, I mean, you can really narrow the light out if you want and cast a narrower beam of light, like so. So a little more directional light and a little more open over there. Now that the lights are working, we've tested them and all that, now we're gonna hook up the Smart Hub 150 to our iPhone. Okay, so I've already installed the InLite app on my phone, and I'm gonna add a new garden and then give your garden a recognizable name. So this isn't a garden, this is inside my house, and it's my feature wall. So I'm gonna type in feature wall, and I'm gonna hit next. Now that you've given your garden a name, you can search for one or more of the Smart Hubs. So search for Smart Hubs. It's found the Smart Hub that's down there on the floor. These must be confirmed to be used. So I'm going to hit that. And it says confirm this Smart Hub. Walk to the selected Smart Hub and look to see if the reset button is blinking. It's not blinking, so I'm gonna set reset button does not flash. So it's not blinking, so I'm going to turn this off. I'm gonna go back, search for Smart Hubs, Smart Hub. One Smart Hub has been found. These must be confirmed to use. Okay, now it's flashing. Okay, now it's connecting to this Smart Hub. Now it's connected. Okay, so light zone 1, remember the 3 zones that we had on the Smart Hub? We hooked up to the first one. I'm gonna go to light zone 1, find the flashing lighting zone. Okay, okay, there it's flashing. All right, so I found it. Give the lighting zone a recognizable name. So it's again, feature wall, next. And then it says choose fitting or recognizable symbol for this lighting zone. So I'll look in here and see, is there something that makes sense? I think this fence looking thing is kind of cool. So I'm gonna choose that for my icon. So now the feature wall, save settings. So one Smart Hub found, added to garden, save settings, smart lights connected. To find control connected smart lights, the entire garden must be synced. I'm gonna skip that because I don't have any other lights right now. So now I can go to Smart Hub 1 and I have one of the 3 poles set up. So if I wanna turn on the wall lights from my phone, I just go like that and there they are. So turn them off, turn them on. I can also do it from up here, feature wall. There you go. So now the Smart Hub transformer is controlling the lights on the wall. Which light do you like better? And do you like the accent on the wall? Let me know, comment below. Let me know what you think. Again, this is a company called InLite, and I really like their products. I mostly use them outside, but when we were visiting their headquarters in the Netherlands, we saw these installed on the wall and we really liked them, so we thought we'd put a couple on our feature wall as well. So if you like this video, don't forget to click that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. Don't forget to watch our shorts and leave me a comment below on those as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.